Hello everyone, it is Monday the something of March. I am in a really good mood. I'm feeling pretty chilled and relaxed. I've got some business bits to do. I want to have a look and see about getting some Yelk tickets if I can. I've got to finish eating my lunch. This week, plans, I need to finish Weird Sisters by Terry Pratchett, because we've only got, including today, we've got 28, 29, 30, 4 more days of April to March. I've got to finish Weird Sisters by Terry Pratchett, so I'm hoping today to either finish that or get as much of, like, the majority of it done. I want to finish, I also have my audiobook of Night's Shadow. For some reason I've just stopped listening to it and I've just struggled to pick it back up again. But I've got about 6.5 hours left of it, so I do need to kind of hurry up and get to that so I can finish it before the end of the week. And that's all I've got for reading plans, because I don't want to start anything and carry it over, because it's the Magical Readathon and I have like 15 books that I need to do. So yeah, I'm just gonna try and get the books that I've already started this month, get those finished and get everything prepped for the Magical Readathon, because April we will have a 2-week break from school for the Easter holidays, and my plan is to basically spend at least a week of that just solid reading and going out for walks and taking my book and things. So I'm looking forward to it, but I'm also kind of like, and I need to work out the priority of what books I need to get to first, because like library books need to come first, and I need to work out what weeks I'm going to do my buddy reads, because I've got 2 buddy reads, and then what weeks I'm going to do this and that and the other. So yeah, I'm just going to sit and work those out today. But for now, I'm going to finish my lunch and play some Genshin Impact while I'm waiting for the vlog for last week to upload. So yeah, speak to you in a bit. Guys, your girl is going to Yelk. I'm going to Yelk. I'm so excited. Hang on, let me pause the TV so I can actually talk. I just had the remote. Where is it? Shush. Yeah, I thought I'd quickly check the price, because when I get paid on Friday I was going to order my tickets, and I was like, oh, I didn't realise they were going to be 60 quid just for the tickets. And my uncle was like, order them. Well, I haven't got the money. He went, no, I'll pay for them and then you can just pay me back as and when. So my uncle has kindly ordered my tickets for me, and they are in my inbox right now. So I'm going, and I get to meet some of you, and I get to like see everybody, and I've never been before. I first became aware of it in 2019, but I couldn't afford to go. And then 2020 and 2021, it wasn't in person, so I've never gotten to experience it. So yeah, I am ridiculously excited. This is probably the only holiday I'm going to get this year. And I just... Let me know if you are going to Yelk in the comments, and I'd love to see some of you. And if any of you are travelling in from the Midlands, maybe we can arrange a little travel party. Yeah, I cannot wait. Hey everyone, I'm at work, and as you can probably hear behind me, there are children screaming. I've had a good day. I've been feeling a little bit overwhelmed, like I might need to, I'm supposed to be in tomorrow, but my ear infection I think is back, and as the day's gone on I'm just feeling more and more and more unwell. But I don't really want to go home, because obviously I'm here, I want to work, I want to earn money, I want to move later on in the year, so I need to work on that. So they have an hour at lunch. We're only half an hour in and I am bored to death because I forgot my book and I only got 4 hours sleep last night. and I am so tired. I am struggling. You can see my eyes are keep going droopy. So I've got like droopy eyes and I'm just struggling really hard to like focus or do anything. I feel like I've lost my self-confidence in the classroom, and I feel like I'm almost lost my care or passion for teaching. I feel like I've been out of the classroom so long that it's like the thought of going back in now just fills me with dread instead of excitement. And even now that I'm in primary, which is where I want to be, I'm just struggling. I know my depression's really bad at the minute as well. I'm going to speak to my doctor. I might just need to be signed off for a few weeks just to get my bearings, but we shall see. Sorry it's not a more positive one, but I'm just feeling a bit fed up with life right now and a bit fed up of work. Anyway, I'm going to go because I'm rambling too much, but thanks for listening to my depressed, shitty TED talk. Hope you're feeling a bit better than I am right now. And I'll see you soon. Hello everyone, welcome to my workshop. Ooh, it's cold enough that I have steam blowing out, but thankfully I have a little heater, so he's gonna keep me warm. Yeah, I ended up not working today. The school didn't book me, even though they booked me last week for 2 days, they only actually needed me for 1. So unexpected day off, but I'm using it as a work day for my business because when I get paid this Friday, I will finally be at a point where I can start resupplying, and I've had a few orders this month. I've had like 5 orders in March. I'm running a bit low on everything, but that's because I've been off the business for 3 months, but also the season 6 of Outlander launched a couple of weeks ago, and every candle that I've sold in the last 2 weeks, and I've sold about 6 candles, have all been Outlander. So I'm prioritising an Outlander restock, but I'm also here with all my oils that normally sit behind me over here. I'm here with these because I will be also launching a new range in April, and I'll be launching the Crescent City range. And to begin with, I'm only going to focus on 2 or 3, so I'm going to be doing a Bryce and a Hunt because they're the main characters, but I'm going to do one that is, I'm going to be doing a range that is each of the houses. So because House of Sky and Breath is the latest, that's the one that I'll do first. So I'll do a House of Sky and Breath candle that's going to be like very light, very airy, very sort of like breathy. Then I'll do like the House of Earth and Blood, which is obviously going to be very earthy and woodsy, but also with a little bit of like spice in there. When I do House of, I can't remember all the houses, like Shadow and whatever, the Dark House, that's going to be like a very dark, like sultry, passionate, like, you know, really deep, musky, like dark orchid and things like that smell. And then we're going to have the water-based one, which will obviously be things like water, kelp, seaweed, things like that. So I'm really hoping you're all going to enjoy those. But I'm currently going to be going through all my oils. I'm checking my stock, seeing if I'm okay for everything, checking what I need to order, and gonna start playing around with some combos and decide which ones I like for the characters I want to do. It's going to be a bit difficult because obviously, even though the sun has gone away again, the pollen has not, so my nose is a little bit stuffy. But thankfully for me, my uncle has very good sense of smell, and he's quite liked most of my candles so far, so I've asked him if he will just go over them tonight and just have a sniff of what I've picked and just make sure that my nose isn't saying that it's good when it actually smells crap. So he's going to do that for me. But yeah, I'm just going to go through all of last year's invoices, check what I need, where I order it from, because for some reason I have managed to lose my business notebook that I used to take everywhere and had everything in. That one I've checked in every single box that I own, both here and in storage, and that one seems to have vanished into the ether. So Yeah, I've just had to start again. And I can't remember where I get everything from, because I use about I use about 8 different shops now. Yeah, it's fun. I'm gonna get on and do some of this now. I might do some bee footage and just show some of the planning and some of the prep. We shall see. We have snow. It's not going to settle. It's going to probably go within 5 minutes. But it doesn't even feel cold enough. Like, you know, I'm barefoot and I'm just in a dressing gown and my pyjamas and I'm not even shivering. It's not cold. This country is so weird. But I know that, like, up in Scotland they have actual, like, proper snow that has been settling, so that's another reason why I'm excited to move there. Exciting. Oh. Hi, Snow Kitty. You want in? You cold? Come on then. Snow cat. Come on. Coward. Hey everyone, my glasses are a little bit dark because I've just been sat outside watching the snow. It's Thursday, I'm not at work today. Partly they didn't have any work for me today, and partly it's my body, it's that time where my body likes to wreak havoc and make me suffer. And weirdly, I've not had bad pain this month in terms of like cramping, but I have been feeling extraordinarily nauseous, which I don't usually get. That's quite rare for me. And all of my joints have been really hypersensitive and hypermobile. Like at one point yesterday when I was walking up the stairs, I could feel my hip joint was kind of like a lot looser than normal, and it just, when that happens, it just feels like the joint is sliding around and it gets extraordinarily painful. But yeah, today is the final day of March, and I'm kind of almost panic reading things a little bit because I've just reached the halfway point of Weird Sisters. I started this like 3 weeks ago. I just have had no will to pick it up, but I'm going to try, and I've got to get this much read before the end of the day. However, I have already read about this much today in the last sort of 30 minutes, so that should be doable. It should only take me about 2 hours. And I have maxed my, because for some reason I've gone like 8 days and I haven't picked up my audiobook. And I thought I only had like 4 hours left on it, and it turned out I had 7 hours left on it. So I had a minor panic. And what I've done is, when I'm not reading Weird Sisters, I'm playing Genshin Impact and I have my audiobook on. And how do you people who listen to audiobooks on 2 and 2.5 speed process anything? And I feel like, how can you actually enjoy the book? Because I've got it on 1.6 and I am barely able to process what's being said. And I don't like the narration, because I usually listen to it on about 1.2, and even then sometimes I bring it back down, and it's like, yes, it's a bit slower, but I feel like you actually get the atmosphere much more and you get the emotions better when you play it at normal speed. When it's sped up, it goes so fast, it's like I'm just sort of taking in the words but not really taking in what's going on, and it just kind of, it's not a fun experience. But if I have any hope of getting this finished by the end of today as well as this, I have been needing to put it on about 1.6, and that means that it went from 7 hours to it went down to about 5.5. So I've been listening for about an hour, so I've only got about 4.5 to go. It's 2 o'clock now, so I reckon there's always like a 2 hour gap where my uncle comes down at 4 till 6 where we watch TV. So taking away those 2 hours, I reckon by the time he comes down at 4, I reckon I'll be on about page 200 of this, and I'll only have just over 100 to go. Will I? I'll have 150 to go. Then when he goes up at 6, I reckon by 8 o'clock I should have one finished, and by 11 o'clock I should have both. And that means that I will then, I've still got a couple that I did start this month or that I wanted to do that I won't have gotten done, but at least it means that going into the Magical Readathon tomorrow or tonight at midnight, I can just start and know that I'm not going to be having to try and finish books before I start these, especially as I've got like a 15 book pile to get through next month. So, and only like 2 of them are short, 3 out of those 15 are short stories or graphic novels. The rest are all like super long. Yeah, I didn't plan that one through. But I only actually need to do 2 for my career. The rest are all just me trying to be an overachiever. Wish me luck, and I'll check back in a little bit. So obviously for you guys, you'll see straight after this if I succeed. But I will update you soon with my progress. It's just gone 10:30 and I've just finished the audiobook. There was a bit of a delay because I started to feel a bit unwell after dinner and had a bit of a nap. But yeah, so that I finished, and some bits I felt really dragged and I was not getting on with. The rest of it was so good, and I mean so good. Like the end, for those of you that have read it, like the whole lament and Kest and like the the epilogue, oh my god, I was like on tenterhooks the whole time. Was it tenterhooks? Whatever the word is, I was on them the whole time, and I've literally just finished it. I'm actually feeling a bit teary and a little bit emotional, as well as extraordinarily tired. Jeez, look at the size of those bags. Ugh. I'm so tired lately. It just seems no matter how much sleep I get, it's not enough. But yeah, so that was awesome. I kind of want to give it 5 stars, but there were a few bits that were really annoying. Sort of, like I said, there were some bits that I felt just dragged on far too long. Other bits I felt were repeated a bit too much, and it's sort of like certain themes and certain bits just, it's like, okay, we've seen that, we know that that happened, can we stop going back to that? The flashbacks I kind of got a bit annoyed with, but the rest of it, like, amazing. And I'm not gonna lie, I still adore Kest. I've now grown to like Falkio. Brasty. Brasty is just fucking incredible. Like his appearance towards the end of the book, there's like one bit where he comes into it and I just burst out laughing at his entrance because it was so well done. I absolutely love him now. I like all of them, but yeah, Brasty, he's kind of growing on me. Kest is still my favourite. Falkio is, I'm now kind of liking him. There were some really emotional bits, and there were a couple of bits that did have me tearing up a little bit. And at the end, I was getting really emotional because, again, like I said, Joe Jameson, the narrator, I think if I was reading the book, it probably wouldn't have done much, but Joe Jameson's narration and his way of telling the story is just so emotive and has a way of just catching that emotion in the back of your throat. And I kind of really want to just download the third book and start it now, but it's not on my list for April, and I already have 15 books on my list, so unless I can find one to swap it with, I'm gonna have to just wait until May. So we shall see. It's a shame that I didn't do this one in April, because one of the prompts that I need to do is a book with the word shadow in the title, which this one does. So I kind of wish I'd done this one in April, and then I could have gone on to the third one in May. But hey presto, whatever. But yeah, loved it. It's either going to be a 4.5, it might just be a 5, I don't know yet, but I've got a feeling it's definitely a 4.5. So now I've got an hour and 15 minutes to try and get... Where is it? Can't even find the book. It's in this pile. Here it is. I have an hour and 15 minutes to read this. Let's see. Hour and 15 minutes. Let's go. Hi. As you saw from that last clip, I did it. 160 pages in, it was like 55 minutes in the end that I ended up. Like, thankfully the pages weren't full and the text wasn't teeny, but yeah, I did it and I am pretty exhausted. So yeah, in March it turns out I read 11 books, although one was a DNF, so I did complete 10 books. Really happy with that. So when I get up in the morning, I'm gonna film my March wrap up. Weird Sisters. I definitely preferred this to Equal Rights. It had way more quotable moments. I have got quite a lot of, let's see if I can find a bunch. I do have more highlights in here. So you can see here I've got like an entire page highlighted. And I do have a fair bit highlighted. But as I've said before, I'm finding with Terry Pratchett that he has like moments where they're fantastic, but the overall book itself was just a bit like the actual plot was a bit and it just didn't really do much for me. But his characters are fantastic and I do love them. I'm just not a fan of his plot and his world dynamics so much. I'm gonna give the next one in the Witches series a go, and if I don't like that, I think I'm just gonna get rid of all of them and just declare that Terry Pratchett is not for me and Discworld is not my idea of fun, which isn't a bad thing. So yeah, now really it's 1:45 in the morning. I am gonna play Genshin for a little bit longer, probably till 1, because I kind of put it to one side in order to finish my reading. So I'm gonna go back to that, and then I think go to bed. I will catch you all in a bit. Good night. Happy Sunday. Reading update since my last update. Not much. To me, it's not going to be much. As you saw on the last clips, I did finish Weird Sisters and Night Shadow in one evening. And then on April 1st, for the start of Magical Readathon, so that was on Friday, I joined in on Chloe Reads Books, her Patreon only sprints, and I jumped in on that. And I started reading Rivers of London by Ben Aronovich. I'm only about 4 chapters in so far, and basically all that's happened currently is that the main character wants to be a detective. He's been told that he won't be transferred into that unit. He's going into like a desk job unit. And so he's now doing everything he can to prove to them that he is worthy of being in the detectives unit. And he also, on the night of a murder, he met a ghost who was like, hey, yeah, I'm dead, but I saw everything that happened. And we follow him now we're at the point he's just trying to find the ghost again, which is quite amusing. But I took it upstairs to start reading it again and then just never got around to it. Every couple of years, I get the urge to reread the Fever series by Karen Marie Moning. And I've read it, I think this will be my 4th or 5th read through. And it is literally about every 2 years I just get the urge and it will just pop into my head completely uninvited. And once that story is in my head and I start thinking about it, I can't ignore it. So what I did do, because there is a graphic novel that's based on the books, so I thought, well, I have the graphic novel on my phone, I'll read that, maybe that'll just, make the brain bees happy. No. The brain bees got even more stirred up and were like, we want to read. So those 14 books that I've got to one side for the Magical Readathon are now kind of forgotten because I have started reading Dark Fever. But it is fantastic and it does feature a lot of magical elements, so I'm sure that I can fit most of the books into the prompts. So yeah, it is one of my absolute favourites, but it's one that I forget. Annoyingly, like when I think about my top books, I always think of Nalini Singh, I always think of V. Schwab, but for some reason I forget that series until I start reading it again. Then I'm like, holy shit, I actually love this series. So yeah, I need to try and remember it a bit more. So yeah, and then finally for reading, I have The Hate You Give that I am buddy reading with Chelsea Zhao, and we hadn't quite worked out when we were going to start, but then Chelsea messaged me during the night and was like, hey, so I started and I read the first 3 pages and shit is going down already. And so that means I've got to read 6 chapters today, and then we're going to do 3 chapters a day, which should take us a week to read. So I've got to read 105 pages today to catch up, which, considering it's already, I think, nearly 1 o'clock, actually, it's gone 1 by now, surely. Yeah, considering it's like gone 1, and I also have D&D tonight, and I've got videos to edit, it's going to be a stretch, but I'm going to try. And I'm probably going to start right now. So yeah, that's it for where I'm at currently, and I'll check in for the wrap up for the week in a minute. Very quick wrap up. In this week, I finished Weird Sisters by Terry Pratchett. I finished the audiobook of Night Shadow by Sebastian de Castell. I started and finished the Fever Moon graphic novel, which is the graphic novel based on Karen Marie Moning's Fever series. And I have started the first of the Fever books because my ADHD brain went, no, we don't want to read those books that you've already picked out. We want to read something different. So, what can you do? So yeah. Oh, and I started the arc for A Path to Kindness, which is a poetry collection. So, not as much reading as I would have liked, but more than I thought I was going to get through this week. Here's to a completed week. And see you on the next one. Bye.